I have just been sealed in one of Minecraft's most secure prisons, the Voidstar Rift. But how did I even get here in the first place? Well, let's start from the beginning. Also, please make sure to like and subscribe the video, and I notice how there's actually a ton of you guys that aren't subscribed, so if you could do that, then that'd be very nice. Anyway, let's get into the video. I was admiring the view from my balcony when I saw someone. There was an invisible player right outside my house. So what are you doing at my house? Are you going to answer me, or... Okay, so what is this? This player had just given me a lodestone compass, pointing towards some sort of vault. My curiosity had gotten the best of me, and I decided to follow the compass. However, when I got there, something felt a bit off. You see, any regular vault would be huge with many different defenses, but this one was just a 5x5 obsidian cube. Knowing this was probably a trap, I got some blocks ready in case I needed to escape. You again? What are you doing here? Bro, what is this? And after I escaped, I thought about what had just happened. Why did that player want to kill me so badly? And who was he exactly? But I didn't have time to think about that right now, because he was already here. Okay, chill, bro. With the invis player chasing me down, I knew there was only one way I could escape him. By going to the end. There was a stronghold right by my house. If I could just get to the portal, I'd be home free. But I was too late. He had already come through the portal, and I had nowhere to go. If I went back to the overworld, he would surely know my location. My only choice was to fight. I managed to pop his totem, and then completely missed the opportunity to see who he was. But it wasn't that big of a deal. I just used my last totem and had no choice but to surrender. So I dropped all my items onto the floor and followed the player. So, are you even going to tell me who you are? Or why you're doing this? The player wanted me to set up my stasis outside the prison, supposedly so he could kill me but by pulling the stasis. Next up was the inventory check. This was to make sure that I didn't sneak any items into the prison. However, while he was distracted, I was able to grab my pickaxe out of the shulker box. Now all I could do was hope that it would be enough to get me out. As soon as I entered my cell, I realized that the Guardian was right above me. If I could kill it, I would be able to get rid of my mining fatigue. So I started mining, and mining, and mining. Then, okay, you get the point. After I killed the Guardian, I waited out the mining fatigue, and once I no longer had the effect, I broke into the next layer. The next layer seemed to be a series of bubble columns that would push the player up, and since I heard wardens, I assumed they were above me. So I cautiously placed blocks, making a bridge to stop the bubbles from pushing me up, and proceeded to break into the third layer. But this layer consisted of several layers of lava. Although that wasn't going to stop me from getting through, since I used the water from the bubble column to turn the lava into cobblestone. At one point though, I accidentally backed up too much to get away from the lava pouring out and got pushed up to where the wardens were. So I quickly crouched as hard as I could to go back down into the mine I created to avoid getting shot by the wardens' sonic blast, and was now safe. Once I got through all the layers of lava, I was introduced with a giant hole to lava, which was very easy to avoid since I now had blocks I could use to get over. But then I was on to the fourth layer. This layer seemed to be easy, since it was just some layers of obsidian. But I guess the guy who made this prison thought I would have to mine all these layers of obsidian by hand. Anyways, I got through all the obsidian and was now met with the void. I stopped to check my surroundings and realized that I could get onto what seemed like a dragon's tail going all the way around the outside of the prison. So I carefully made my way to the center tube that was the spot where the invis player made me enter the prison. And on my way to the center tube, I had to be very careful, since there was another warden that was in some sort of machine possibly made to stop me from taking the center tube back out. So I slowly jumped onto the top of the center tube, and then made my way up to the front. But then I saw the invis player. He seemed to be looking in the opposite direction of the prison for some reason, but that worked to my advantage, since I ran past him and then searched for an ender chest. But since he spotted me, I said this to him: I'm sorry. I'll go back into the prison right now." Just joking. I tried to block him off, but it didn't work, so I put on my elytra to fly towards the spot on the ground to dig, so I could hide and put my armor on. And then I made my escape towards the portal to the main end island. Once I got to the portal that would lead back to my house, I looked back to see if he was chasing me still, and once I spotted him, I said, "Haha, see you later." Once I got home, I realized he might go back to my house, so I prepared myself to fight him. Let's end this once and for all.
Okay, chill. Can we just talk this out before I die?
Okay, then tell me why you trapped me and tried to kill me.
You see, this was all part of Matrix's plan. But now that I have failed to do my part, he's going to send a new player after you. You can't escape him. If you try to run, he'll find you. So you better be prepared to lose everything.
Well, whoever this guy is, he can't beat me, so I guess this is goodbye.
Wait!
After I killed the player, I decided to keep his armor in case I needed some spare gear for later.